All right, good Wednesday afternoon. Hope everyone is having a nice afternoon so far. Maybe you're grabbing your lunch now, trying to stay cool out there. That's the big story for us today, is that it is hot and humid and even dangerously hot if you're out for a long period of time. So remember those heat safety tips. Now, we do have some changes on the way, and that's what I want to briefly touch on real quick before we talk about just how hot it's going to be today. Now, high pressure to our south and also low pressure to our south. That is what we're closely watching in the Gulf. Everyone's been talking about Invest 93L, and the good news is it's looking not so impressive, which is hopefully going to keep this at bay and really just be a rainmaker for us across central Mississippi. But until then, we are tracking some big time heat for today and likely into tomorrow as well. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm seeing everyone tuning in now. So if you'll have any questions, just jump on and ask there on the chat, and hopefully I can get to them. If not, I'll answer them after the fact. But Live Max 12 is quiet across central Mississippi, but notice not for everyone. We do have a few stray showers to our south and or across the region. We could see a very brief minimal chance of rain today. 10% chance because we're so hot and we're fairly dry all day. We've been tracking a north wind coming around that area of high pressure, which has been our main weather maker over the last couple days. That's why the heat has been a very big factor. I do want to go down and zoom out here just to show you what's happening currently. This very disorganized area of low pressure is still riding along the coast, the panhandle of Florida. As of this morning, it was moving past Panama City and near Apalachicola. Now it's really the center of it is moving closer to the Alabama coastline and eventually tracking closer to coastal Louisiana. But notice there is not a defined area of rotation there of low pressure. It's kind of just all over the place, and that's because it's moving into an environment that's a little less favorable for tropical development, and hopefully that keeps that system from gaining too much strength over the next couple of days. Now for us, we're hot and we're humid, temperatures in the mid 90s, 95 in Jackson, 96 in Vicksburg. We're at 94 in Natchez, but of course the biggest story is what it actually feels like. Some folks are feeling like 105 in Carthage, 104 in Raleigh, 107 in Hazelhurst, 106 as well in Meadville, 112 in Vicksburg. So whichever way you slice it and wherever you are, you're feeling the heat, some more than others, but just keep in mind those heat safety tips. Please drink lots of water, check on those that are more vulnerable. Always look before you lock as well, as to avoid hot car deaths. And this is going to be a factor into our forecast for the rest of the day. Temperatures make it to the mid 90s, and some folks in the Pine Belt even closer to the upper 90s. That's why a heat advisory is in effect. Again, those heat indices will be closer to 105 and greater, and that is in place for practically everyone across our region, with the exception of our far southeastern counties. Now tomorrow, things change a bit for us. It's still going to be hot and humid, but I don't think we'll spend as many hours in that dangerous territory for heat indices. I think we may get up to 105, but that rain and also some breezier winds, that's going to help keep our temperatures a little bit lower going into the next few days. And the better chances of rain coming Friday and Saturday, that's also going to bring temperatures down. So unfortunately, not much relief from the humidity. Actually, the humidity is going up because of that tropical moisture building in over the next couple of days. But as far as temperatures, better chances of rain, of course, means the lower temperatures will be. So let's time that out for you, closely watching again to our south and west where that area of low pressure is. We're zooming out here to show you it's pretty dry for the rest of your Wednesday, but one of our in-house models here showing the rain and storms really starting late Thursday afternoon, especially if you're in the Pine Belt and further south and west. I think that's where we'll see the greatest coverage of rain, and even some flooding rain is not out of the question. It is not a guarantee, but it really depends on where the system moves and just how much strength it gains, which as of now, not too concerned. I'm thinking a few showers and storms, maybe one or two robust thunderstorms across the region, but overall we're just going to see better coverage of rain. So don't let that scare you as we head into the next few days. Notice that area of low pressure is moving inland closer to coastal Louisiana, taking a turn to the north and east gradually, but we're going to see some heavy pockets of rain certainly by Friday afternoon and evening. If we have some training thunderstorms, remember those are the storms that go over the same area for a long period of time, we could see some locally heavier amounts of rain. We're talking 2 to 3, even 4 inches locally. Now, area-wide, I'm thinking closer to 1 to 2 inches of rainfall over the next few days. Notice how chances of rain do go up, 70 to 60% Friday and into Saturday, and even Sunday. Some scattered storms are still going to be in the mix for us. A 40% chance, though, you guys, this isn't even a named storm yet, and if it does get the next name on the list, it will be Dexter. But I'm expecting at best for it to maybe become a tropical depression, a short-lived tropical depression. It just depends on if this system can really get itself together and get more organized over the next 24 hours, and how much of that will happen is we still have to watch that closely. So this is what we're looking at. The National Hurricane Center still saying a 40% chance of it turning into a tropical storm or depression over the next 2 to 7 days. This is the overview. What we're looking at is models are trending a little bit less organized. The wind field not looking as strong and damaging. We're talking maybe 30 to 40 mile per hour winds at best inland. I think the biggest threat is going to be closer to the Mississippi Gulf Coast and the Louisiana Gulf Coast. Still a tropical depression is possible, and what this means for us is better chances of heavy rainfall in our southern counties. We're still going to see that bullseye of heavy rain in mainly southwestern Louisiana. Again, we're going to keep watching it closely, but the sea surface temperatures are warm. There's no doubt about that. We have the ingredients there, but it just depends on how much wind shear this area of low pressure encounters, and that will really determine what it does. And this is our latest update for our spaghetti plot. This is just showing you several different model runs and where it's taking this system. They're in good agreement that it stays right along the coast there, Alabama coast and into Louisiana over the next several hours into early Thursday, but then eventually moving inland. We have a few outliers there that do take this storm system moving closer to southwest Louisiana through Pike and Walthall and into Lincoln and Franklin County. Also another outlier that's closer to the Alabama and Mississippi state line. Notice kind of on our eastern counties, but most of those models are grouping that storm together, moving further south and west. So I'm expecting this to move mainly along the Mississippi River, if not further west of the river. That puts us on the eastern side. The only thing about that is what we'll have to watch is that's the wetter side and the more stormy side. So typically we see the potential of some gusty winds, some heavy flooding rains, but again, this system is so disorganized and not looking very strong or impressive that I don't think we'll have to worry about widespread severe weather. We're going to watch it closely. Over the next 7 days, no doubt about it, we're going to get some rain. I think everyone's going to see some rain, just depending on how far south you are. It will tell you how much we're expecting. This is not all from the same system. We're going to see some waves of rain and bands of rain stretching across the region by Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Not an all-day washout. We're not going to see area-wide rain and thunderstorms. Some of those storms, though, could produce some gustier winds, but our biggest concern right now is the threat of flash flooding. It's still pretty low, but the risk is marginal, which means a 1 out of 4 risk along and south of Highway 84 for tomorrow. That is Thursday. We're going to see some rain, especially the second half of the day as well. And heading into Friday, that does increase to a level 2 out of 4, so a slight risk. Notice where that red is. That's a moderate risk. And again, this is where the bullseye of the heaviest rain is going to be for folks in Louisiana, not for us. I think the bigger concern is going to stay along the coast. By Saturday, we're still expecting rain, but that threat for flash flooding is a marginal, a 1 out of 5 risk. This is not something we need to be very alarmed about, but surely something to watch and closely monitor, which we are doing here and will you up to date with all that you need to know online and on air, also on all of our social media platforms. Your 8-day forecast is a little wet and stormy though, as that tropical low begins to track closer to our region. A 40% chance of scattered storms tomorrow, 70% for Friday, and the chance of rain stays elevated Saturday and Sunday. But notice the rain will start to taper down by Monday and Tuesday, a 20 to 30% chance. And while the rain is high, the rain chances are high, temperatures will be a little bit more bearable in the low 90s with overnight lows in the mid 70s. And again, what we usually are used to, and the chance of rain goes down, our temperatures go up. So we're expecting mid 90s by the middle part of next week. Just scrolling through our chat here to see if we have any questions. I'm not seeing any, but thanks so much for watching, guys, and we will have another update from meteorologist Roberto Zamora in just a few hours.